Well, hello again. It's me, Amanda. And today I want to talk about what it means to unbottle your potential. It's what this podcast is named for. It is what my forthcoming book, which will be out October 2023, it seems like an age from now, is titled. And it's really something I've become passionate about because I believe that you have so much latent potential inside of you. And particularly if you are someone who drinks on a frequent social habitual basis, that you are not leveling up to the potential that's available to you. And I want to talk more what that means because so many times we track potential as professional or achievement or accolade based. And that's not it for me. Potential is all of the possibility that lies within you, that resides within you for every single area of your life. And I truly believe that we bottle it up when we participate in drinking culture. And this is not something I always believed because let me tell you what, 6 or 7 years ago, when I was still a drinker, I believed that I was living my version of my best life. I believed that I was doing all the things. And it certainly looked like from the outside looking in that I was kicking so much ass. I had the job, I had the car. Well, drive a Honda CRV, but whatever. I had a great apartment. I had lots of friends. I had an active social life. I had all of these things that society told us were checking the boxes of living a good life and living up to my potential. I had a master's degree. I, had an active dating life. I looked good. I felt good. Everything looked great. And on the inside, I didn't feel so good. I knew that there was something missing. I could sense that I was not living up to the fullest possibility that was available to me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Time after time, I kept trying to put the pieces together. I kept trying to check the boxes that would help me feel healthier, sexier, more confident, get the guy, to get the job, to get the promotion, to get the money, to get the house, to get the whatever. And none of it worked. And I was reading all of the self-help books. I was going to therapy. I was doing all of the things. And it just felt like I was running on a treadmill, that I was moving, but getting nowhere fast. And of course, I was making minor accomplishments, but every time I got a pat on the back, it just fed my ego. It didn't feed my soul. And my soul is what was hungering. And so what I realized and what I posited was that maybe there was something, it wasn't so much about how much more that I could do in my life, but what I could take away that would allow me to step into my potential. And when I did the math, the thing that kept coming up time and time and time again was my relationship with alcohol. Even though it was not a problem, I kept having this sense that my relationship with alcohol was what was holding me back from truly living in my potential, truly living that life that I dreamed of and desired. And so when I talk about potential, again, it's not just an achievement. When I talk about potential, I mean it from a holistic purpose. The emotional depth that is available to you, the personal success, the professional excellence, the relational fulfillment, the spiritual connection, all a 360 holistic view of your life and where you are not able to have those things at the greatest depth that is available to you. For me, I know that on the outside, I looked like I was emotionally intelligent. I was the person that everyone always turned to when they had a problem. I could never get work done at the office because people were always lining up at my desk having questions about workplace drama or what they should do in this specific situation, even though it wasn't my area of expertise. I was pretty emotionally stoic. But when it came to emotional expression and really feeling and embracing my emotions, I hid from them. I didn't feel it was permissible to have the big emotions, to cry, to get angry, to emote, to just have these things come up. And in fact, I not only was hiding them from other people, I was hiding them for myself. So when I had big emotions come up, what would I do? I would wait until happy hour and I would suppress them and then drink them down. It looked like personally on the outside, I was living this great life, but I had no hobbies. First of all, my only hobby, my only thing that brought me so-called joy and delight was going out and drinking. And I didn't have anything else that was fulfilling me. I didn't have endeavors that I was striving for and achieving for. And if I did, they were all pretty superficial, right? Professional excellence. I was stuck in a job that was there for glamour and glory. It looked like I was doing really cool things, but I felt so uncreative, so unsatisfied, so unfulfilled. And I spent years and years being overworked and underpaid. And then I transitioned to a job where I was understimulated and overpaid. And I just felt completely incongruent. I did not feel like I was in the right place. I felt like I had spent all this time getting a master's degree, working my way up the corporate ladder, getting jobs, getting promotions, investing in this area of expertise that wasn't my place to be. I felt that I was stuck on a ladder that I didn't belong on professionally. In my relationships, my family relationships were tumultuous. I dreaded any sort of interaction with my family because there was so much drama and weirdness there that I just could not stay emotionally regulated. Most of my friendships were superficial and based on partying and going out and doing similar social things. My romantic relationships were completely unfulfilling and incongruent. I kept attracting Peter Pan types who weren't ready to be in a relationship, but that's because I probably wasn't ready to be in a relationship myself. And so I kept attracting these completely unfulfilling emotional relationships. And spiritually, I was bankrupt. I wanted to have a connection with a higher power, something beyond my physical sight. And I was praying and I was meditating and I was journaling, but I just couldn't feel that connection. And that, my friends, is because I was diluting all of my capabilities to be that person. I was diluting my ability to have the emotional depth, diluting my ability to have the personal success, the professional excellence, the relationship fulfillment, the spiritual connection. Every time I drank, I further distanced myself from my ability to step into who I was meant to be. Because you see, when we drink alcohol, we play small. We dull our sparkle. We dull our creativity. We dull our confidence and our ability to show up fully as ourselves. So even though many of us, and if you're listening to this, you probably identify as being a high achiever, a high performer, a go-getter, someone who gets shit done, whatever your personal label is, I'm sure that you have some sort of identification that you are someone who gets shit done. And I get it because I was there. But if you are getting shit done, but still not feeling fulfilled and you're wondering why, I would ask you to reconsider your relationship with alcohol. If you're wondering why people are always applauding you, but you don't feel successful, you don't feel on track, you don't feel like you're actually living the life that you were meant to live. One of my clients described it as, I feel like I'm in a movie and I'm the starring role, but I'm in the wrong movie. And I felt that. I felt that because I had felt that before. I had been there before where I felt like everyone was cheering me on, thinking that my life was so great. But on the inside, I felt completely incongruent, completely lost. And I felt like I had so much more to give and so much more that I deserved that I just couldn't grasp. It was in my mind's eye, but it was completely out of reach. And that is when your potential is bottled up. It is diluted. It is dulled down because alcohol is in the way. I will tell you, I just didn't have the time, the energy, the emotional capacity, or the confidence to do the things that I have done now with relative ease when I was drinking. I would have had to put 10 times more effort mentally and physically into achieving all of the things that I have today if I would have kept drinking. And I will tell you, today I show up as a woman who is emotionally centered most of the time. Do I still get off track? Hell yes. I get triggered and activated all the time. But the difference is I have the tools and the self-confidence to know that I can handle it, that I can handle anything life throws at me, be it heartbreak or grief or anger or frustration, whatever it is, I have the tools within me to regulate myself emotionally through that. I do not need to numb out or have a drink. Personally, I have hobbies and I have goals that I'm striving after. I have things that I get delighted to do and to participate in that I didn't have 5 years ago in my life. Professionally, I'm living my dream. I've created a career for myself where I'm helping and supporting people. And I was able to leave the 9 to 5 hustle that I was in feeling really good about what I was stepping into. And maybe you are still looking to stay at your 9 to 5 job. You feel really connected to it. It doesn't matter. I promise you will go further, faster, and you will outperform everyone around you if you do not have alcohol in the picture. In my relationships, I have so many more deep, deep, fulfilling, supportive friendships than I ever thought would be available to me. I have all of these friends who are willing to show up and root for me and cheer for me and be reflections of my excellence, and really just help me to stand in my worth and show up as a better version of me. They challenge me and encourage me to step up. And before, the only thing many of my friends were encouraging me to do is gossip about Real Housewives. And that's not what connection is made of. Connection is made through vulnerability um, and similar ways of thinking and sharing values and sharing experiences. And the only experiences we were sharing together was getting drunk. I didn't feel fulfilled. And even though I haven't found my forever person romantically at this time, I have so much more confidence when it comes to dating and relationships. I know unequivocally that I am a better partner than I was 5 years ago, and that I am going to be a really excellent partner for someone because I've shown up and done the work. And that I will also attract a partner that is so much more prepared to be the person that I need them to be, to encourage me and stand beside me because I have done this work. And most importantly to me, I have a spiritual connection that makes me feel truly supported and grounded. Before, I was going through a lot of the motions with spirituality. never been a particularly religious person, but when I started to really study spirituality, a lot of it was about checking boxes, reading the books, doing the rituals, saying the prayers. And I knew that there was something out there and that I truly was being supported, but I didn't feel the connection at the level that I feel that connection now. So I have truly stepped into my potential in so many ways. It's not just a metric, a performance metric for my professional success. I have become a living example of what I'm supposed to be. I know that without doubt, the child version of me, little Amanda, would look at me and say, wow, you are so cool. You are really doing it. And that's what it feels like to unbottle your potential, to think about what would the kid version of you, what would little 7-year-old you say if they saw how you were living your life today? And she would say, wow, you are so cool. And I know from that vision, from that perspective, that I'm doing it. And then I'm going to keep doing it. And she's going to keep being more and more and more impressed with who I have become. And it is for her every day that I show up because she had such big dreams and I've made them a reality. And I could not have done that. And maybe I could have, just not as quickly and not as confidently and not with as much ease if I had not stopped drinking. And I want that for you. I want you to step into every area of your life with such confidence and such alignment and congruency that you want to shout from the rooftops about how miraculous your life is. And I know that when you unbottle your potential, it will have a tremendous trickle down effect on everyone around you. Everyone around you will be better for the fact that you chose not to drink. I know that might sound like a lot of pressure, but I promise if you do this work, if you choose to stop drinking and to really double down on going after the areas in your life where your growth has been stunted, where you've held yourself back, you are going to see such tremendous changes that you will have no words for it. And that is what unbottled potential means to me, that you are a living expression of your authentic possibility, that you are the person who your child self always wanted you to be. And then some, maybe a person your child self could not have even creatively imagined, but that she is so proud of, that she is rooting for and cheering for. That's what it feels like to unbottle your potential. So if you are feeling me, if that feels good to you, I invite you to join me. I invite you to continue listening along to this podcast. I invite you to hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Amanda Kuda. If this podcast spoke to you, I would love, love, love if you screenshot it and share it. If you rate and review this podcast and screenshot your review and DM it to me over on Instagram, I'm at Amanda Kuda again. I will send you a little goodie that I have stowed away for you. I think you'll really like it. And I would just love to keep you around. I'd love to keep having you listen. If there's something specific you'd like me to cover on this podcast, I'm really going to be diving into my philosophies around elective sobriety over the next few episodes. And I hope you'll stick around because I think that I take a little bit of a different perspective than some of the other folks out there when it comes to pursuing abstinence and pursuing your potential. And I'm just so grateful to have you here. So I will catch you next time.